Hello, hello, and happy Friday. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Mariette West. I'm a relationship coach, and I help women take their relationship from unfulfilling to satisfying and happy. Um, I post on here. I try to be on every Friday, giving you different tools and tips to continue to create the relationship you want. So this show, this YouTube channel is called Growing in Love. And the growing in love is has two meanings. The first one is that you are wanting to continue to grow and nurture and do the things that will allow your relationship to grow. So talking about the things that might be getting in the way, you know, if there's weeds, we want to know what we need to pick, and if we need to do add more water or more um, sunshine or whatever that might be, knowing what we can add or we can take away from to keep the our love and our relationship growing. And then the second part of this is really about growing in your relationship in a way that using the challenges and the things, the patterns that you're doing that are not working to help you understand and grow personally so that you can show up the way you want to show up in your relationship as the creator, not as the victim, but as someone who is creating exactly what they want for their relationship. And if it's not working, knowing that you have a choice, as always, to change that. All right. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about um, a client of mine. She came to me and she was recently talking to me about her sex life. She was telling me that she was quite discontent and that she wanted to have more connection when they were having sex. I asked her what the problem was, and she said that even though the sex was good, it was fine, she just didn't feel like it had that making love, kind of feeling that so many people talk about the differences, right? She wanted to feel connected. She wanted to feel like this was a moment where they were sharing love and connection. And I asked her if she had talked to her partner about this, and she said, I can't. Now, these words, I can't or I have to, are really interesting words that I want to talk to you today about. And I want you to notice if you're talking about things and saying I can't or I have to. So let's talk about why they're an issue. So number one, the thing I want you to focus on is notice when you are saying I can't in particular or I have to. And is that physically true? Is it absolutely true that you can't or you have to? So let me give you some examples. If you say something like, I have to make dinner, and you're feeling really irritated by it, or you're kind of blaming somebody else because they're not jumping up to do it. I always have to make dinner. So I want you to realize that that is not actually true. You don't have to make dinner. Some people choose never to make dinner or to choose to go out for dinner or to get the kids to do it. Or, there's multiple other things that we do. It's not actually true that you have to make dinner. What's more true is that you actually usually choose to make dinner because you want dinner. You want the result of having dinner, or maybe you want to feed your children, or maybe you feel like the way you cook maybe is more aligned with how you want to eat. So you choose to be the person who cooks. So it's not really true that you can't, you're physically able to, or that you have to. You never have to do something. There's a lot of ways we can not do anything ever. If we wanted to, we could choose that. The second example I wanted to share with you is when we say, I can't say no. So often we'll use this kind of phrase when we don't know how to say something that we don't want to say. Sorry, I just got a message popped up on my screen. So if we're saying something like, first of all, it's not true when we say I can't say no because you physically just said no if you're using that phrase. So it's not true that you are not able to actually speak those words. We can. So if we're more honest, is that what we're saying is we really are reluctant to say no because we're afraid of what other people might think if we do say no. So it's again being really honest about the way we're speaking. And if we're saying things like I can't or I have to, they're actually not true. And it's putting us in this place of losing our power. Another example, and this is going back to the original one I talked about, I can't tell my partner I'm unfulfilled in the bedroom. No one has actually cut out your tongue, right? You can physically tell your partner what you want to, what you want or what you don't want. And um, if you don't want to, that's okay, right? But when we're saying I can't, that's not true. But maybe what's really happening there is that you're actually afraid to say you can't, or believing, or you're actually afraid, which is why you're saying I can't. Maybe you're afraid that your partner will be uncomfortable or you'll be uncomfortable. Maybe you're afraid that he'll be upset, or maybe that he'll take it the wrong way. So it's easier to just believe I can't. But the problem is when we get stuck in the I can't, is that we're actually stepping into being a victim of our circumstance. So this is number two. So number one is being aware that and noticing when you're using words like I can't or I have to. And then the second one here is realizing when we're using those words, we're actually giving up our power and choosing to be a victim, right? We're ignoring what we know is true and honest for ourselves. And that when we say it, we're actually blaming other people or blaming the circumstance or blaming something outside of ourselves. And it gets in the way of us actually creating and doing what we need to do to get the result that we want. We don't even necessarily know what it is because we're so busy stuck in the I can'ts. So the third thing is to really become aware of what it is that you actually mean when you say I can't. Get honest with yourself. Figure out what it is that you actually mean and be honest with yourself at least about what it is that you mean. So this client of mine, what she really meant was that she was very uncomfortable to talk about sex, but just wanted it to magically change. So that's more honest. And when you're more honest, you can begin to then figure out ways to change that. What are the options available to you when you are really believing what's really going on? Not that you can't, but that you're afraid to, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Okay, so what we want to do then, once we're aware of what's actually going on, is we want to choose two different words. You can say, instead of I can't, I don't want to, or I choose not to. Or if we say something like I have to, instead you can shift it to I'm choosing to, or I'm decided to, or I'm going to. Not that you have to. All right. So all of these different ways of saying this are allowing you to create the power that you need to make the changes that you want. It's not always comfortable, but it definitely creates the result that you want. So to recap the three things I want you to do: to be aware when you're using words like, number one, to be aware of using words like can't, have to, should. All of these words are victim like words, and they're blaming something, giving away your power to something outside of yourself. So you really are stuck with creating what you actually want. So pay attention to that. Number two, uncover what it really, really means. Number three, acknowledge, and I think I put those in different order, but acknowledge that you are choosing to be a victim rather than stepping into your power by not being super honest about the words that you choose to use. And then once you've uncovered what it really means, then I want you to instead substitute it in your own mind, at least, with more accurate phrases like I choose not to, or I don't want to. All right. And ultimately, when we do that, it opens up the opportunity for us to really then begin to brainstorm and think about and get creative about the actions we need to take to actually move towards it, or to be okay with what we're choosing to do or not do. All right. So thank you for listening. If you want, I would love it that if you liked or subscribed to this channel, I will be giving you different videos every Friday, as long as I can make that work. And I would love for you to let me know if there's something in particular that you keep noticing you find yourself saying, I can't, or times when you notice that's happening. And just start with number one, become aware, pay attention to it. If you do notice this is something that's in your way and you want some support with that, you can always reach out and book in a love breakthrough session with me. It's free, and we will find out ways that you are keeping yourself stuck and help you to move forward in the direction you want to move forward in. I will put the link to my calendar in the comments, and you can access it there. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Happy weekend. Bye for now.